Vincent Moniman at Nasi Kojo Virus also 36 and a list of more elbow children net yedi Jumadino and so bro and then you conco forman so yedin semi-brena and about Oko over the weekend the European leagues no start in the 5 major leagues no yed moons and some results ni na Shannon so nyamia be ne launched Monday night football no and so bet me across Newcastle in Liverpool game we no is more than football you be remnant the Sanseming na so the Shannon say the other teams no the transfer window nyamia do September and a transfer window no and so a bit me and the internet a lot of teams are still doing more transfer business e bi mo so per kwan se ne o meto o bomb squad United o muntimi ton player ba kokra internet o mo Sancho o mo Anthony o mo Garnacho so I mean a lot of players, more than 4 players. But then the only player with me, I'm an free team minimum. Marcus Rashford, and they walk loan to FC Barcelona, and they or Chelsea side. So they also have a lot of players are more ton. Finally, can they Chukwuemeka and Anselmino to Dortmund? I think that Akasome or maybe be official then. Announces are deal. So and then they Oko teammate say Marcelo also Alberian because players me ntokwa pa pupo obi antima mpata take the team securities any secrets or more stadium ho any team be pata none of the players any team pata ntokwa no any Andra Rabiot any Abranta any Jonathan Roy any Marcel team ne say omuntimi any Sam Rant and enyi adwuma biem ntene Jonathan Roy or English international no wakwa sign Ediama Bologna Andra Rabiot ni agent and the lawyers na kasa say omunim sa brand no contract ebe ende next season obeko free so omudi ntokwa no enfanto wana omudi yes some excuse bi e de aton no e de enyeska e de Marcel say ope Andra Rabiot for 20 million euros bra o meje ni mu na ono so akwa player club ne say omutimi ene ne nya adwuma enam ntokwa on ni teammate Jonathan Roy ekokwen after omuluso mo first game to Rene did red card no omodi ashop no ntokwa ni nyina ne say Rabiot see Jonathan Roy na nim hono no boss nkuba ball ni ball no bone enso ani na Jonathan say uzu uji afimfo ye de ball na mo hwe ho saa sebi uzu antima nya hwe na Rabiot say Jonathan Roy no who under 21 player umbo ade ne odi twede hye na no ho ba ko na say small boy ne say masa ball na yebo ntuntimi beton sa me bo me na pipe. Finally, one player every Marcel club no money man be remuna or the latest player named Marcel for and so Apple Ediaba and you could pay so a lot of actions results etoja United ebe yeni Ruben Amorim 29 games as United head coach and they over 28 points in they so check it the average point per game in Drew one it should be somewhere 0.8 and 0.9 and some few numbers be I mean, a worrying. The reason why United ain't me winning games. And after the game, Marco Silva, your coach, and then Alexander Iwobi, on your player, Edema Fulham, Omakasai, or say they knew how to beat United. Communim said United in FIFA Hono, a hot daho, Tisa Sofo line. Quite them sainty. They knew that on beat me, I beat United Mayfield anytime they want. So whatever bait to me and say, "Oh, be team midfield now." One of the defenders, no, ebe jump here, but say, "Oh, be tackle." That is when they will play the ball into the pocket spaces, ever into the box, and that is exactly how Omutimi Eddie equalized the game. No, and then Yasama Alexander Iwobi ekaye. So a coach and a player for an opposition team. United problems no doesn't mean that the players, the coaches, and the technical team of United no omunim omohawana and day in day out they keep on conceding such goals. United say they finally omoka kope a goalkeeper because with Onana niwa I buying that no omunjini ndi and ye na ya we say nyame aduma December AFCON because we Morocco definitely Onana ni Cameroon beko so they are going to miss him na sad buying there no omunjini ndene Omo mo Belgium omo a young and exciting goalkeeper Edna ba na obe ye adwuma ye be remu na the sunset me na ba Barcelona and so remontada omo chese ne Uber Europa for the last season be na omo and the kings of remontada adia Madrid anye entimi against Arsenal no they've been doing it and over the weekend omo ye chese after say they were down by 2 goals Omutimi ebe tete kan ebe win game no Real Madrid echi Real Oviedo ebo ne kam yensa omo entimi ante I mean into the game. Vinicius Junior and started. Kylian Mbappe Loitin also able 2 goals. Ebiremu na yahwe akwakoye clear say finally Kylian Mbappe the poster boy. And then Vinicius Junior one started game no. He came in later in the game. Coach no a strong warning and was also making a bigger statement to all the Madrid players say born ubo na umbodi ya they will let you be on the bench na obifufro and so etimi abebo we any same na and ebere repair na money man the odds for the day no na the ama investors so muti na mo so metimi enya bi etwa e wo MyBet na metimi e di show no live e wo YouTube MYBET.AFRICA and then mo subscribe to channel no na mo share ma onipa bi so enya bi hwe sound so live e wo MyBet online radio MyBet online radio oko Facebook MyBet TV live street is watching and then ABN radio 1 show no air live ho mo so betima like it mo follow pages no na mo so ma share na obi enya bi enso etima hwe money man akwaba
yeah Vincent Mejoso
na bibia boko a new week yes. And it's also the last working week of this month you know you remu say na say na a braba but energy no it very high and yeah. Over the weekend a lot of teams upset and so eto dwanti my MyBet education na yen refi na yen hwe nsensem no matches here toss over the weekend na yen fa remu in the transfers.
Okay, nti se hwe we week fufu omu ni enim say MyBet the time be omu no me betting platform on my diska. Even though say weekend no enyama nko ya my investors ni bi ba say otwa bet on MYBET.AFRICA kwan bia so no with options omu de my na obetimi afiska because bet builder offer 2 games 3 games betimi nye scale mu edu a unso betimi dey check you how far this weekend the Atletico ha margin ye but on Sunday MyBet for bet builder option omu ma me no betimi di fiska etete me ho e ma bibia etimi ko ye nti unso ba be ka MyBet ebusuan no a very simple call browser na www.mybet.africa na feed website maybe FFF on the top right corner obehu icon bi a circle ni green me aso obehu login and register se unyan register ya me register ne so 3 simple steps and I'll be register on MyBet.AFRICA platform no the first one your phone number the audio mobile money transactions uboshema na feed bibia timi akoye o na feed wabo username betimi your nickname edin bi a person wo de she ho no abo ahim ubone bi omo ka se edin na wo de she ho bi yusu dida na fa number ba ku mienu count say na be na unique compared to BBR or no so our platform so now for the password one password any confirm password ni na ya de ba ko ubo password na confirm password ni so about the same password as show what register ni so now for the MyBet for send do verification code now they verify your account to verify your account you aba be busuano this week you we are week from na any game kese e be koso nti any bet builder option ansa na show ni be ko na wi e mema correct bet builder option any ubetim dia fiscal e MyBet.AFRICA nti tie show no e kopim na wi e na won so timi nya alter de be ma na wetim dia fiscal e MyBet.AFRICA.
All right, into MyBet.AFRICA, yes, and any opemu na ankasa ntene who register and as the money man kind when you a lot of varieties options are also wait me area this guy you be weekend games no na the transfers no and so it's me there so I mean over the weekend a lot of games told ya yes. In the Premier League West Ham Friday night football mutina fie ko to twede kan ma Chelsea the massa ye world champions omote kanini omode 4 solid goals e kan ho Chelsea winning 5-1 after the full time Manchester City and the Tottenham Hotspurs Mohamed Kudus in the Mrant and the teammate no omo ese from this particular game. I remember on Friday me a very big caution say this game should be gamer. I think say investors or some more avoid it because Tottenham Hotspurs record against City are incredible. Then again the coach who is handling Tottenham Hotspurs Thomas Frank Osha Guardiola bre out of 6 games or Brentford only Guardiola boy with Man City no or we need move 2 and then a move back here draw and also 3 to City ni Brentford share and a very big game so the coach in question was also another factor me sound so edit to so City at 90 hard and my Tottenham Hotspurs ekobone kamienu omo entimi anti Burnley echi Sunderland ebone kamienu Sunderland entimi anti Brentford echi Aston Villa obone kabako Brentford entimi anti sound so na Bournemouth and Wolves Bournemouth share kabako Wolves and so entimi anti Arsenal omusi form me believe that Arsenal bet match league no much Leeds ebome 5-0 at least entimanti kademu hada braka Everton ewo omu new stadium omochi Brighton and Hove Albion ebo ne kam yenu Brighton entimanti Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest omo ebo 1-1 sanso ena dia Fulham and Manchester United and so ebo 1-1 ewo ha na enye agudi okomu the Italian Calcio Serie A a lot of games and so etoja Atlanta ni Pesa. It was a goalless draw. That is match day 1. Juventus Eche Parma Ebone Camino Parma Intimanti Sansuna Cagliari Fiorentina number 1-1. Como Fabregas Motimino or Akrebi friend Nico Paz Massa Akrano Nimbo Bruta Ochi Lazio Ebone Camino and they Como Fono and so it me taking all the 3 maximum points. AC Milan Etna Fie Emma Cremonense Ekobone Camino AC Milan Etikademu Bako Roma actually Bologna this game catch was a Gianpiero Gasperini the first game ewo Stadio Olimpico is going to be a huge game now us no soon Obekaya money man was I think 2.3 or to Bibisa and Roma and so it's me arena game on by 1-0 Greece Genoa and in Lecce and so it's me boy omo boy goalless draw Samson and Napoli the Italian champions ekoche Sassuolo and so eboneka mienua Sassuolo so entimi anti in the Spanish La Liga a lot of games and so etoja over the weekend Real Oviedo etna fiema Real Madrid ekobone kamensa omo entimi anti Real Sociedad in Espanyol omo ebo a 2-2 draw ewo Villarreal Thomas Partey team no omo ti Girona ewo fie ebone kapa de pore enum anya de Girona so etimete ye Osasuna ehye timande de Valencia ebone kaba ko etimante Levante ekoto twede kan ye mienu ene ne Barca responding say we are the champions in Spain omo ebewe ni 3-2 aniema ko ye Atletico Madrid last week mbe come asem and they still played a goalless draw with Elche. Mallorca and Celta Vigo mo ebo 1-1 Sanso and Real Betis and timande de Deportivo de Alaves Real Betis so winning kabakwa omo entimate this many more games and I told you many money man we be remember watch some of the games na afi ya transfers then finally na she any game nyame ado be to jan
yes in starting free Chelsea any West Ham game course so that was on Friday now you better now because this is one game I'm looking at the game ending in both teams to score because West Ham your team yeah so can team with Chelsea yeah especially so on initial in their last 2 visits at Chelsea are West Ham team pick 1 win or meaning that they are dominant especially when it comes to playing against their London rivals but Adebakwa Miniji game who say after that 6-minute goal Paqueta share I think is a one of the goals of the season who say and no any Richarlison goal na see a mate but him say season what other teams in subet me about more than but share Chelsea response and they Adebakwa a man Miniji because anytime watch Chelsea from the last 2 seasons Chelsea caught down by a goal Utimu say demeanor any motivation to get back into the game na afi the ones or draw but with a goal in the 15th minute by João Pedro na Chelsea gusuma a lot of pressure so mbetimi win at least within the first half na second half ma beto aso the mindset as here Enzo Maresca and Brandt and etimi build but Graham Potter or one question mark here pound one now she game and run na Friday a course na West Ham fan after every goal be a crop of fans that's APA Free Stadium which it shows a big sign say any fans ne ninje ade na coach ne ye no nti enye mo say free the next 2 games we ntimi am pick vital victory on the betimi the first coach e betimi apam no e West Ham we ana Premier League no I think Graham Potter it's time says so to me who say enye team bia na be more time say for build the senior Brighton man no nti o move ko club instantly as to make an impact bibia betimi akoye because your quality of players okuta game against Sunderland game against Chelsea at least you need to prove something now we lose 2 games from 2 starter winner yen share Paris Saint-Germain game
okay
o share game American has Paris Saint-Germain say utie Friday na metobia for say omunya pre-season here into omuntimi do the peak so omutimi bo into say o share their last
omunya sharp
yes omunya sharp you share their last 2 games are ending a 1-0 victory ade omo hwe ni say onya ne 3 point oko and that is something as investors any team come from their 3rd game down to their 4th eco feed game no you shouldn't be expecting more goals from Paris Saint-Germain into no ade ba ko e futu emo bia ho yen hwe Thomas Frank and I think say one of the coaches are in the Premier League in the last 2 seasons watch say if onya quality obetimi aye bibi Thomas Frank tactically you are very good e ban performance wise otimi put a lot of pressure on the boys to deliver on the day. Last 2 seasons otimi share Pep Guardiola home and away with Brentford team into getting this quality in this Tottenham team na enye mo say ne obetimi akọ with ahoden. Now one thing I like about his game is occur into every game tactically planning for the opponent. Into before last season, we have Brentford games of City boy. Every time I call with a 3-back because no need enough quality to stand the Man City setup. But the Tottenham setup, no GDS Tottenham team no, quality they can match boot to boot with team of friend of Manchester City. And I think on the day, the likes of Mohamed Kudus, the likes of Brennan Johnson, the likes of Richarlison, it me put up a good performance. And defensively, they were very, very solid. We had the likes of Romero, the likes of Van der Ven, the likes of Spence, and the Pedro Peruma, all making sure say Mamouche, Erling Haaland mo couldn't get a chance to break through their lines. Keeping 2 clean sheets in 2 games, AF something is very
money man. You see, Friday, you know,
yes,
we spoke a lot about Thomas Frank.
Yes.
Anyhow, he's a coach. Bia only share sometimes difficult to break him.
Yes.
Normally, he can go in a 4-4-2 system, a 4-3-3 system. Even sometimes, so could share the traditional business club, which now Spence a part of that traditional business clubs now, mostly occur with a 3-back formation. Now in this game, there is one thing I think say Spence for year and very year was their 1v1 or man-to-man marking.
Yes.
And they say virus bet me the pictures now. Media tune so especially one of Spurs games, you know, whenever they are defending, say Bo Nikita City. If the boys in City have at least money man, omo press you omo in a man-to-man marking, they will not go all out, but they will make sure say they will always be Manchester City will not have a free man either up front or in the middle of game. No, so it was very hard for City to be their press. And you see, in that game, it was a game nanka if Edison Oma in Kebebo because in this game, whenever we be press or man-to-man marking. They also answer also call long.
Yes.
And that is what Chelsea here on the shape PSG because PSG press it and when you move on, make sure all free man. And you see, if someone say Edison, yeah, sister, Edison assist on Allison Yebian, and whenever on the ball now call wine, and you have a striker or a fighter in a bit Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Uba Haaland beats me no my pray and a bit me about so Trafford, an academy, City academy graduate. I think say in this game. He didn't do well, especially in finding the right passes. Midfield hold. And Russia almost second goal now. Didn't survive so how beat him day or more 1v1 pressing but there is this particular one now. In fact, least money man, there are games and so upe say who say obi be press number 6 and our number 8. Obi say obi the ball the fan who say and unya sa player na. Always be this is a gamer. Yes. Omo press it 1v1. This is Trafford and Kita Bono. These two. Sorry, money man. Oh, Pierre Bon Diama, Nico Gonzalez. Who is the number 6? And your mobile team now. Now, watch it. Papa Sa. Any Tottenham players now. Omo press it with a man-to-man. Player no that left side. No Johnson. Eko John Stones. No Diaz. Richarlison. Eko John Stones. One who. Pahiha Eko, I think that is I don't know if that is yes, Reinders. Papa Sa Eko Nico Gonzalez and they have Rodrigo Bentancur just right behind Rico Lewis. Now keeper no one for ball number defenders no ball or the ball name Gonzalez. Yes. So he played the ball to Gonzalez. And right, Papa Matassa who's the ball neko. So Papa Matassa intercepted ball now. Right now the ball will go to Richarlison. Senkavaris base mama naba. See, Olusu ball na and then they ball no ko eche to pan here. So this was the second goal. So the 1v1 marking Tottenham here no. Ebo muye. There's another one be another person if City to me e build up no the ball no. If from half mu ebo omo Tottenham omo half ma. Then no must settle on a mid block in a 4-4-2 system. Yes,
mpesi a share picture we nso kakra.
Yeah.
From this picture no, not Trafford position ogina no say na kan Edison. So Osha Tottenham player, yes, Tottenham player nanka or press Erling Haaland. Osha space between them.
Yes.
Inti nkobetimi abo long. That's
no. So you see in this space, I'm not passing ball my goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, you stand so right to be passing my John Stones. But because what we say, and you see there are other videos I remember virus they are also, and especially coaches are teams are more built from the back. No, so who pass obi anim say who share team a obenya script ni you say definitely obi build it up from the midfield. What Chelsea? Anytime you be build it up, I Caicedo obian say Caicedo and losing the marker. We go straight to Enzo Fernandez or we go straight to Kopama. Adebakwa Caicedo by Chelsea. Especially last season and the last 2 seasons was Chelsea transfer bedroom from the back behind. Oh, it's me and missing the marker. There are other videos I remember that also in the course of a year the analysis. Yeah. You see, in this video, Money Man, the best option was to play wide. What do you call the left side? Not any Haaland. Actually defend and then they are called. The moment of betting corner, you have your wingers also occupying in the box. So I think say this game, if Nkomo Edison Omar and Nkomo build up would have been smooth. So in this case, what team blaming Nico Gonzalez because when team losing the marker. Now, maybe I highlighted other videos are happening, especially in this season. Any last season, I had teams, especially Obi to set Chelsea game. No, Chelsea ni Arsenal last season. Savaras be check his session. You will see Chelsea any Arsenal when Arsenal goalkeeper Nikita ball. No opia ball the ama or more defender Declan Rice, and that is the plan. Who Piabona now? What we have to do is say, who player no? One, this is Declan Rice. One, Ojina, Jackson Echi. And they by Jackson Echi said, Declan Rice will come and take the ball. So what you say? Now, this is when Jackson Rice, real Jackson, and our coach, but the component Jackson heading a time too. So that one, a quick play. What the ball never right back. So you create a space for your right back. Now, Savaras waiting day. Another one back so that is Arsenal list there now. And also yes, same gifts. Now you look at Arsenal list. Savaras so you be same mistake. List for so in that game. You look at Arsenal list when list for a year more build up no money man. Yes. You see goalkeeper in the ball no. Yes, virus be managed now back on. Yes, this one. Yeah, man ko chiri kakra. Come go defend on friend no Strauch no. Keep on the ball man. That is the plan. They say on bebo no dey akwa Rondon. Who is the right back? So keep an on pantima Rondon the streets. Now Odiama Abranta Nedi Struik. Struik then say or the ball the mama starch then starch about the akwa Abranta Nedi Rondon. Now
start to build up.
Chef Martins will be men who say definitely keep on the ball name Strauch no. Or the ball the mama Abranta Nedi starch. Into a tunica because the last time I make Mekachi say they will miss Ampedu in this game. But Omusu Yetima, they start from the back. Then a fuck team. Now list virus manenko. This is Martin Zubimendi and the intercepted ball. No Zabo ya. Senka Victor Gokres Enya Tuasia and Koshego. Yes. But he thought that he didn't have enough time and space at that moment. Because none of the players were closer to him. There's another one. And it sounds so identical in teams or maybe build it from the back. Babaye, a lot of the teams. And a Taisi who build it from the back. Now, and you know, we had DM and our goalkeeper who DM named me react in Makana. Always obey some mistakes. No, into I Robert Sanchez. Errors are lead to Chelsea good in a year because when team finding the pass isn't right and about passing when player no making sure so bit losing the marker. So it is one thing I think say money man thought for no a year no very well.
And I think says Oshe senior okay building from the back no a quality of the goalkeeper. Yeah. Into play a bigger factor because Oshe from Arsenal example and even Chelsea example now. Utimu say with Arsenal ni list no keeper no Zubimendi run na. Kobe na doing said then you kick long. Send you bet me. I send you last season who said na Edison Dema Ellen Haaland assist baby no. So who said baby a block the best solution is to kick longer a best so accurate a better player no. So I think we Pep Guardiola on the day maybe you very regret to say one started Edison, but it comes back to the question of Sisiano. They are looking at bringing in Donnarumma, which him said Donnarumma building from the back. No, he's not that good, especially when it comes to solutions like this. Intino with Stratford getting his chance 1 or 2, no, na obi a so betimi put up a good performance, but I think Sisiano there will be a lot of question marks about him. Would he start in the post? What of Edison? Man City be Manako and Bibia betimi, but on the night or on the day, I think Thomas Frank ebon homodin. And if you have a quality coach like him, nowadays Daniel Levy, they are looking at adding players they'll fit into his system. You have about transfer and it's not mature players, but more say they can add to the system and be a bit me. So I think say maybe Thomas Frank abasuye because you don't go against a club like Manchester City and they open coach with me a lot of wins from Manchester City. Thomas Frank didn't count. That shows the quality and tactics or they call into the game, and I think say going forward with one or two qualities Tottenham betimi dominate. To show my next fixtures they are easy fixtures for him. I wouldn't be surprised so betimi a 10 game runner he will just be winning and maybe by the end of September with performance need to make us why he will be on the top of the league table.
Yes, before I'll be free Spurs name City game I mean how Thomas Frank able Mohamed Kudus. I think that we are seeing a different Mohamed Kudus.
Yes.
How man here keeping the game simple, when to cross, when to pass, and when to dribble. It is something that I think will be a very positive addition to Mohamed Kudus in the game.
And it would even be a blessing to the Ghanaian national team because as the player is improving, so Mohamed Kudus in their 2 games he has been one of their best players. About performance-wise, even though say in the game he didn't get an assist or a goal, say in the first game, but you could see say he has been very simple on the ball. Times obey take on, and I think Pedro Peru has also been a good player to him because they say Otiminya the freedom say ne make me a cartoon Pedro Peru be overlapping and also defensively Pedro Peru they need to cover more grounds for him and they who say will pressure better so for him to come back. And I think the only we are not during the game, I think Vicario and 1 or 2 things of him tracking back, but I think with that one in Pono share the distance between him and the player so I think Thomas Frank Boyjuma yepa, and with Tottenham fans they've seen quality, a coach defensively or solid attacking and so or they nyama and they are taking their chances and na this season goal or share in the first goal on any day they will just miss the ball because some feel so offside but they were able to end the ball in the back of the net and they after VAR checking BB and they got to see say game etimiako in their favor or metimia share that particular goal. Their second goal send a boy a nice pressing, which I think say going forward they would like to press a lot of teams and make sure say they would make mistakes and they would take advantage of those things. With game back also a course, so that is Crystal Palace Nottingham Forest. I didn't may highlight the game well. This was one game before the game, no BNM said this will be a game a friend Nuno Espirito Santo last game because on the press my journalist or mobile beside the question I said now the relationship between the club CEO and you on break it down. Now him say it started from last season. We I want you prior the club CEO AC Park the so-called team coach on 1 or 2 things and as that now I think the relationship there at because he wanted some players and a club names went to me and Toamana. This game I think Crystal Palace Oliver Glasner has shown say football and not just about players on the pitch. It's about the quality, the tactics our coach in the into the game. If you're game on my board without Eze, you don't see them missing quality like Eze. Even though say Unka Eze woman, you see 1 or 2 difference in their setup or 1 or 2 difference in their play. But with me say with the formation on one set up, with the plan of Kutani, Obetimia ko boot to boot with any team any Ombetimia bomb modern. Or Nottingham Forest, they've added quality in their setup. Omai Hutchinson are joining them. Igo Jesus in Swaba, Otiminya a good game. Callum Hosnodoi ensu etimi born no more on usu timi share go mom. So I think with Nottingham Forest, a be me aye pass and you betimi jai Nuno Espirito Santo kwan so onko because from last season to this season, with me prove say ampa, he can use any team or a good plan and he can set them up and with me a 1-1 draw me can say this game is a game likely to end in a draw and both teams are going to score. Yeah, Fulham Man United game. And I think say Vincent me were a big question on Ruben Amorim the way of setting up the team. Secondly, I think Ruben Amorim needs to understand say a style of player e do baby a enyama timi sesa intese onsu timi sesa adenti America say and say there are a lot of examples. Antonio Conte ba be for Chelsea team the first now obon the 4-3-3 system it took a game against Liverpool. Liverpool shared Chelsea by 3 goals or 4-0. And this is sign. Obi abeka that memorable picture. Alonso obi ma oye ne nsamiensa say coach say and switch. Free okono a full game unbeaten to win the Premier League. And I think say our squad kuta Ruben Amorim, any players kuta na quality on the side. So United shouldn't be going in games against Fulham. Now United it took an own goal to get Man United a goal. And as of now, Man United about 2 games with attacking threat or more. Oka Cunha, Oka Mbuemo, Oka Sesko, Oka Bruno Fernandes goal contribution boomer and Namomo 60 plus. But out of 2 games, these 4 players so mubi intimi share go here. It shows the formation structure, the planner in Yama Nkoyi. Now, Metinas Kakaya analyzing the game no. Share the 3-back system or build it up compared to other 3-back systems are successful. I think there are a whole lot of loopholes in the 3-back system. No, I didn't American say you Thomas Tuchel 3-back system or do we need as the Champions League with Chelsea, Oliver Glasner even with Crystal Palace, Antonio Conte 3-back system or do we need a Premier League with Chelsea? So with these 3-back systems or with these 3 teams, I who say defensively they are very solid. Untimi gaps in between them. I'll bet me I explore. But with the Man United setup, every time there were a lot of chances for Fulham if they were able to get players in the box, and the game would have ended maybe a 2-0 or a 3-0 against Man United. And I think the build-up play from the defense to the midfield to the attack ain't a problem. Because the Ocean Man United game, every time be a ball in the best start, if we keep an maybe Lenny Euro, delete or we're friend saying, look sure, it takes time. It takes seconds. A lot of seconds before ball me moving into the attacking phase. And during the game, they were on several occasions. They said Bruno cheer Lenny Euro, baby on Bobo on Infa because I saw drop paper chance Bobo on Infa and Bobo on Infa, which is a big problem.
Yeah.
Because minimum with a 3-back system, the easiest route to get the ball out of your defensive shape, through the middle and now to your wing back, send your way to me and explore the opponent. But Amorim setup, he finds it very difficult to move the ball from the back to their opponent half. And I mean, who say on person or try that long ball routine, because with a long ball routine, meaning that you kick the ball to the opponent more, and you may lose possession a lot of times.
Yeah.
Which I think say going forward, he needs to adapt to the league or home, because anyhow kind what about 28 matches and what about 29 matches equal to 28 points.
Okay, 3-back is it because 3-back we've seen coaches using 3-back.
Yes.
Antonio Conte the 3-back edgy
Premier League.
Still we have coaches of more 3-back in the Airborne League now, especially when they been to the top 6 clubs.
They suffer
now,
to break
issue
them down.
is it that the players ain't me adapted to coaching style and I say coaching style na emfa into no so onu mom sisan I won't say the akwa say coach on tactics.
Yeah.
But emfa does he have to change and also say players need me adapted to system akwa like a 2-way scenario. And then again Obia Kwaku United say they are not consistent because at least Ruben Amorim by United. Now we need 2 games and to win the Premier League, which is very, very bad. As a coach, 29 games or about. We need 2 games in the Premier League in Tuasu. And you spent money on attackers.
But still,
Kunga Eba. You say Kunga about that right one. Now Benjamin Sesko or Benchino. Does it mean that the coach didn't sanction the move for Benjamin Sesko? And all the cover striker ba potential in the man and regarding the history of especially strikers of more Premier League on flop it. Now the number and start hitting from the ground and the pressure ban so a man for the almost 007 be quite attaching then so or 10 flop now no.
Ushe Ruben Amorim setup now. I think say enya about players because last season you can say only qualities to match the style and the system of Pesobo. And now, Nuntimi can't say the likes of Cunha, the likes of Mbuemo, the likes of Sesko, the likes of Bruno Fernandes, still as a noun, Omuntimi system. It shows the system is a system. It benefits players. They are willing to play in a role out there. In the Sporting Lisbon setup now, the likes of Quenda, the likes of Victor Gyökeres, they were players that they were ready to kill everything to fit into that particular system and make it work. Ocean Man United setups is here now. Their players, the likes of Mbuemo, if going into the season, say Man United and Ruben Amorim percent still or City with this particular system, then I think there wasn't any need of signing Mbeumo. Because Mbeumo, that type of winger, he likes to touch the line. He likes to take on players 1v1. And then he obetimia take that chances a bit me about him. We had their game against Arsenal. There were a lot of confusion between Onene and Ahmad. Who is touching the line, who is coming in, and Ubemu there are times in Mbeumo person touch the line. Then also catch Ahmad, say Ahmad in Bramu. And I don't think that is the coach style. It's more of the players want to feel comfortable on the pitch and be able to exhibit the talent of Mukuta. And I think Usha team Mukuta now, United has the quality to be able to play another formation out of this. Say formation where Boam wait me the Portuguese league, formation where Boam with the Casapia to me do the highest level. The Premier League is different. And there's a Ruben Amorim as what I say. Because me maybe Sporting and name as a Portuguese league coefficient, ain't me do maybe the championship coefficient. That shows say you are in a league is dominated by tacticians. So with one style of play, with one structure and wow, Usha teams like Arsenal, teams like Chelsea, teams like Manchester City, those are ne team list beba and an information beba no about 4-3-3. But most of these teams play with a 3-back system. Yet Tiana we Enzo Maresca be my said that CCB rule now. Levi Cole, but see we prano only play obetimi 15 and this is a tools in any the rest. So meaning most of these teams fit in that 3-back system, but they explore other options.
Okay.
Which I think say United has the quality to be able to dominate because on paper, Obichel United players or Mukuta, Fulham can't match Man United player to player on paper.
Yeah.
But on the night, Utimu say Fulham were able to match them and take a lot of chances, explore them. If Fulham had quality wingers or Metimia explore United here, they would have taken advantage of them.
Now, you see, if you look at the game, I remember me, I'm somebody that I like Ruben Amorim, especially when he was at Sporting. The principles and how about the 3-back, no, and yet that rigid 3-back be a possessive, unrated, and direct attacking football. So I liked the style of play, no, or boy a 3-back. So defensively or a solid, but or started from the back. So or sounds very good and building up from the back, and it's right at the attack. Yeah. Now against Arsenal, United. People saw how United wanted to play quick, direct, attacking football, build from the back, hold. Anymore. We have players who deal with because you see, if you look at Ruben Amorim, then can't say when they are in transition and when they are in possession, it is just like Chelsea team, no. Because if Chelsea are in possession, we have 3 players at the back, either a right back plus the 2 center backs or a left back plus the 2 center backs, then our 2 pivotal midfielders. So that is if say left back the center backs no one. The right back will join Caicedo in midfield. Still he has the 5-back. Now let's look into this United team. So United were in possession of Moko anymore. Brian Mbeumo and Nkunha, when they were coming, we were known. We got to know that they're coming to play as the left number 10 and the right number 10. So me number 10 is behind Benjamin Sesko, who is going to be the striker. Now if player now obey winger now no be call in as inside number 10s, no. Now when they be hold it, it's not Patrick Dogu, and at the right side it's not Amad Diallo. So there's a reason why Obo Amad Diallo as a right wing back, Amad yet a right back. The traditional 3-back, no. Me and the American, you see something that has been successful at a certain place might not be successful at a certain place. But the thing is, people have to see the DNA. And at United, always it looks as if the players are clueless. Because Osha how we implementing players now. If United ever attacker, Patrick Dogo has to hold the weight, Amad Diallo has to hold the weight, then he has to have 3 players in front of the box or inside the box. And even one of the midfielders also stay close. Into United attack here. But what can I say? The players, I don't know. So coach in the entry I didn't you because you see against us now, people saw it and I was here and I was saying say United team and yes Ruben Amorim by they haven't had good seasons and a good runs. But the thing is consistency. For a club like United to play a goalless draw with Arsenal, to lose to Arsenal at Old Trafford, and after the game they will be happy, say, oh, although we lost, but we are happy. It doesn't sit well with the club. A club like United,
mentality, no?
You cannot play a very good football and lose to rivals and be happy, say, oh, it tells you the standard United are dropping. And you see, if you look at this United team, money man, although they've bought Mbeumo and Kunwa and even Benjamin Sesko, but if the players are not synced well, or may how to play, and medical United team, it's not about chance creation. Last season, they created most chances open teams. I've been saying it severally. Last season, United issue was goal scoring and defending. So Ruben Amorim, when I watched yesterday, I couldn't watch the full 90 minutes. But the mission was that if United defend here, they will have 5 players. But space is not soon between the attackers and the 5 defenders. Watch a year. Savara is between the full and for goal. When United attack here, omo press here, omo fullbacks and press be always the 3 players and the lead attack. Then one of the midfielders also join. Money man. Situation whereby the opponent team every breaking or more 3-man midfield the press is either Bruno Fernandes, any Casemiro in the air. The moment the right now team be set up, right now they start with the goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper and 3 center backs. Yes, if they're able to beat the 3-man presser, now always United 5 back. They are always flat. And it's something that is affecting them because team about 3-man midfield, and it will be kind. They knew so once they are able to beat the front 3 press, they have 3 midfielders. United were 2 midfielders, and in fact, intensity Bruno and Casemiro the Bemano. You won't get it against Newcastle. Koshia, who the 2-man midfield, Koshia Newcastle, or Bruno Gomares, Joelinton, and Sandro Tonali. Physically, they will beat you, and tactically they will beat you because already maybe 2 front 3 anyway. Aka will midfield 2. If they are able to beat your midfield 2, I can't care 5v5 because on no wingers and obesanso when your additional 2 midfielders are or maybe can provided if the fullbacks be so look at this game. United when they scored, United outnumber Fulham, but because they knew that you outnumber them in midfield, or defense always flat. Some bobo on the qua now. Savaris bet me bar nef honanka ekese amamia. This is Iwobi Okitabo money man. Ucheki United on straight line. They have Dalot, they have Yoro, they have Matisse Delet, who is the central center back, and they have was that Luke Shaw on Soho, and then they have Lenny Yoro. Now this is Iwobi Okitabo space full on player. Make it run behind Diego Dalot. So it will be with 2 options. Either obey Pia Bono, they go player no at the Dalot to be called. So the Dalot to it will be better than so the ball in your box. That is when you got to know what any a player like Mbeumo can also block him. Now after box they have 3 players in the box, and then they Abranta and the Eddie ASP through Elko. United defenders, they did their job, but always, but I can't say for you to be able to defend very well, and for you to attack very well, and also have a better DM or better serve as a shield. Money man, if this ball was Declan Rice or Moises Caicedo and Casemiro into me goal, that was Smith-Rowe first round to Asha. Player no a chain that lokoy na Euro anchor no or cross the ball because Obia on the marker because Euro make sure say ball ne ball back clear. Matisse Delet she player no than him no. Now look sure any Lenny Euro they have their markers. Now Smith-Rowe was one marker. Yes, Bruno Fernandes marker. And Bruno Fernandes had a niche baby. As an on mum na attack. So Bruno didn't defend well and not costing the team. Even not for this goal, and United may win the game. No? Yes, God, this was the equalizer. And into the game, this same Bruno Fernandes had a penalty. About penalty such as the referee a provoking. Sabra was betting me say, and I mean this is the captain. And I call it up complaints too much.
And I think says the likes of Bruno and Casemiro wouldn't be a perfect pairing for our system. No,
in that game, in this game, they had 3 different midfield pairing.
Banini
Casemiro, Bruno, Mount, and Ugarte and Fernandes again. So always be there's only one player in the gym. Bruno. And Medicaka. Bruno Fernandes, when you say growing up, no team 8 or number 10, but I see the intensity for you to be playing so crashing box you won't get that intensity. Especially Chelsea West Ham game. When Estavio Elusu Bono, Enzo Fernandez, oh no, yeah, the boss crasher was close to the ball. But when to me, it took Moises Caicedo and a bit closing it down and a paqueta ever ball. So when ya DMA, open mouth that intense bit my like injury with my nipa me no always in this kind of game obebre. Obi to say Conte. Why on any day and a 3 back no boy 3 back but with 2 tops so always or 3-man midfield Inzaghi there no Henry Mkhitaryan a winger but always he's close to the midfield for him to have overload because always wingers and fullbacks be hold the weight. You have to have 3 man in the midfield. And it is something that is affecting United, and I think say it will be very difficult for him with the squad no one so because say or buy boy 3-man midfield. So United a better DM this game.
But I think say option the system now. The system ni betimi affect maybe a 4-2-3-1. Meaning the virus the picture ni beto so now you analyzing the kakra enwo. Because I think say eba ni 3-back system me who ni say overwork it ni finfin mienu no. Which are players are see an age in your side. The likes of Casemiro on age in the side, yes, so betimi I then abim into formation that so be lower third if you are near. I think say going into games, you know, betimi accord with something like this.
Okay.
And adding to make us something like this, I think say you need to protect your back line. See, defensively, you know, they leave a lot of spaces in their defense. So with this system, Dogu, a better player, he can overlap. And do the overlapping works in the mouth. So Dogu overlap, meaning say Cunha can come into those half spaces and those 10 rows or not feeling comfortable in playing. The when you're Mbeumo, being that player, he likes to touch the weight and also make sure say on also be assisted. He's very good in coming with assist. In himself or Brentford, no, with the likes of Wissa, even Ivan Toney time, they were benefiting from his crosses in the box. And to also touch a weight, then Dogu would also touch the weight for you. Then Casemiro Ugarte. Omejumo on the fit, and they said they make sure say they protect the back 3. That is Lenny Yoro delete any Dalu. Intianono Casemiro will be a shield for you. Ebano starting of player, the likes of Casemiro is very good on the ball. Bet me starting. Then you relieve them of those box to box running or they are to the likes of Casemiro, the likes of Kobe and Ugarte Musono. So Washa, Man United fans are complaining, say they don't know if Kobe can be part of their squad. Because almost Philly said that box to box is but Kobe is that player. He's very comfortable coming to pick the ball and getting those short passes in between and be a bit miracle. So I think say a do time he needs to set up. Sometimes to me the formation be by Emfa.
Is he money man?
Yes.
And they watch the current football system information. Yes. Sometimes formation when they play on the field, a different and not maybe the Chelsea any example. Yes. When Chelsea are playing,
and especially Chelsea yes.
When they are playing, I say almost a 3-back system, and always to with United there. No, if you look at how they almost set up a team, no, people have been asking why Mason Mount when he was at Chelsea was my favorite player because he plays or discipline, tactical discipline, and he's very good on the ball. He can shoot, he can score, he can actually do everything. So Tim Biabobiano, Okwakwa say he's a coach favorite. When Lampard started at Chelsea, he was Lampard favorite. Thomas Tuchel he became Thomas Tuchel's favorite. And every coach be Biano or any favorite. Now Ronald Mountable. There's a reason why anytime be Mountable. And you see, I don't have a problem with that. If they are going to play Cunha as that first 9 to play that role now. And I still think there was no need in buying Benjamin Sesko. Because you see, there's reason why coaches on board a 3-back system always be an on 2 number 10s. No. One of double number 10s, one way or the other, a typical number 10 or a midfielder. So Mount number 10 or 8. Bruno Fernandes number 8. So last season, Bruno started season until Summer Palm, Ten Hag. But under Ruben Amorim, Bruno became their best player because that role was perfect for Bruno Fernandes. So in this situation, I think they can still play the Omo game, no? But it means that they have to sacrifice one of their 3 players on this season, and United fans are not ready to see that.
Yes.
So to me,
meaning said they should have looked at
yes,
yes,
Sesko signing, no, because already Udim say you have Bruno, and if you have a fit Messi man to beat my ball, that role, no, tactically we here player or yeah, number 10 midfield go running and say if they are defending, Mount will drop into midfield to have 3-man midfield not there.
Yes,
but I say I don't know what is wrong. Because Ushe United team now, say Bruno never bought from the left side. Also Bruno Beba, but ne kunhamo almost any more chances in saying no. That's 36 more chances, and you've spent over 60-70 million to buy a striker, so you have to play the striker. So Ruben Amorim used to money man also take it sacrifice. Either say or better try Sani players. No, I check was a massa. Yajiboa Joe Linton was a striker and a Newcastle attendant. So I also try saying either Mbwemo or Kunwa. For them to have that numbers in midfield and defenders, no, I didn't know defenders, no, or more synchronization in it. As a more defender, they are not compact.
Compact, yes.
That is it.
Yes. And 2 no more protected Echinen, so they also are far wide.
And 2 no more protected Echinen. They are not even. They don't have that energy. Ogate bonus.
The ball passing.
Yes.
Yes.
So Ogate can give you that shield, but when you are building up, he's not the right man to build up. So me United team no there looks like Family no a free coach and Family the players to a part because boy the share this is a game, and I think that the players they have to work on their mentality.
Yes.
Bruno Fernandes captain, they be our complaints.
And me with the complainer
and see some bogus excuse.
The complainer to me it didn't make sense. I didn't make us and say after all the ball on the 2 no, me full game no. After the ball on the 2 no, Obia won the tradition of how to play the penalties. Into Bruno, most of the ball on the 2 Nanti Konichi 3 times, and Sanoaba. Or the ball on the 2 no, Nanti Konichi 1-2, and I referee the pim no.
Yes. After
referee the pim no, Jai ball no complain no. Or Sambe far ball.
He said referee nanka sorry.
Or Sambe far ball ne Sande Koto, SN Nanti Konichi 1, 2, 3 similar. So I don't know the statement.
Virus bet him the statement now to so Bruno statement.
Better say Ubabe apologize to fans. They say in the crucial time, I say save it in
because if you had scored that
relating
that
to
goal,
the referee,
and United, Smith would take and would have still been 2-1. And you see, there's always balance in United. I say when they need goals, normally Harry Maguire bomb because of the area abilities.
Yes,
and you this same United, would him say one thing? United they cannot defend set pieces. So you have this player in your team, and in the Premier League where some teams, when they find it very difficult to score and win games, they rely on set pieces. Now, Lenny Yoro Mugo ya Ochi, Se Kona, and look at Omugo Yom. So, United team, no, me, I think that for maybe rebuilding no more. They have to, because Bruno Fernandes is not a long term, he's also part of their problem, no. He's also part of a problem, no. Because if Bruno Fernandes is not going to play as one of the number 10s. Ubon in midfielder, and they Bruno recreating a form.
And
so I even like the joining attack. So they move to full backs in the back touch line. You have 3 players and Bruno joining them. And a fast break behind or 3 defenders.
Plus
if they
plus
yes. In Casemiro can no. I only Saturday Casemiro no.
Yes, I think Ruben Amorim will Juma a year because the Man United fans now this time they wouldn't have excuses beyond Emano. Yeah, sure one of the most memorable games so this weekend, that is Everton game of boy, and I think say on their first day new stadium. Now Ubia say Everton beat me abon home or the Yama Bibiako. David Moyes are complaining saying Yama Emfa concerning with the way and the squad near light, but I think Jack Grealish it make a big statement. And the idea most players they need to do getting 2 assists on the day the back waiting bomb and in GI scoring at Goodison, closing the stadium and also opening and scoring a new stadium the back but on the day Nipo a lot of attention Pitford on the minimum virus the better so amamia the penalty Wilbeck inya nanko ba be no. Now I think Saturday we are course watch ama sisi the goalkeepers trainers ade ba ko a omo dey come game ho a meka say mebo ma ba so yi.
I mean, money man, I've been following football and I've been close to some coaches. You see, especially Vision FC coach or your assistant coach by the national team. When you're a liga or tackle game, a game by game, he's somebody that was steady abroad. So or the opponents or share opponents, So how approach game, no? You want Enzo Maresca because when he's going to play game or share team no 7 different games and you highlight
games
90 minutes to prepare for that particular game. So there are games or best start Pedro Neto. There are games will be Felice also starting this game. When they are going to this game, they know say in the Premier League VAR won penalties and you see incredible. That is how money man omodi game na kwakoju. Goalkeepers trainers no on your back they have analysts that will do their job and you pick for them watch a video now. They instructed Pickford to go and watch the bottle.
Virus the bottle ne beto so. O hwe bottle now. They picked 4 penalty takers.
Yes.
Brighton team no. And they highlighted baby on the ball ne be share. Inti so hwe the second one Wolbeck. Now Wolbeck the penalties no on 100% ratio no 50% equal left straight, 50% equal right straight.
On fan.
Okay. So it took Pittsford. Though say on analysis be determine on keeper no on baby obe take it. So we bottle ni ye pa. Minim se virus bet me biemu kakra. Ni penalties no there or the 2 left no emu 2 ayo tie the shesoro. Emu 6 equal fem. Now on the right side no they are boni na air na fem.
Yeah.
It meaning say so they call writer and time kosoro.
Yeah.
It won't so
much. The far right ni na nam fem. And so they call left
or they call left.
Or tie be tie call esro not tie.
So they need 2. And I'm fin the yes air 6. And na the abofa nchen ase no. Eno nso na wo ho. It meaning say ono as a player.
Say obofa left or tie say no.
Tie say no to say mu 5.
Yeah.
It as a player no nim say okay a crucial day, a crucial penalty no. Mami fan kofa left impo na bi akwa akosei nti no this an analysis on my year into on the night Pitford on the day Pitford nim say aye crucial day o ma san hye one ne de kwan bia so no or the be fan right no the far right nso a e be kofem enam so timi de che that crucial penalty uhwe penalty saves in the Premier League eye uyisi man na Pitford na the only player about the English teams so uyi James Pitford and the only keeper was saving a lot of penalties. Now, and yes, maybe or second guess here now, baby. It takes analysis from the team, the senior kind, coaching department, ni to make sure to pick these things. Into a onim se penalty bano. Say O'Reilly never for ball now. Onimejumo bebe. Say Wolbeck never for ball no onimejumo babe. Say Rute and never for ball no onimejumo babe. This is something that it goes into games and the goalkeepers take advantage of it. And I think they're going forward. No, other clubs, BAB, they've not been able to adapt this structure. No, they need to do it to make sure say BBA bet me akoye. But I everything for Abaso. They opened their new stadium and they're one of them. The second most expensive stadium in the Premier League. They are looking at least, and yes, maybe they are just playing there. But they want to get an European competition to make the place more exciting. Maybe transfers mukaka na afide we are. Yes. Ushe Victor Boniface be kan Friday ni say we tu na kitem ene na Milan you who pictures say kwa bontin we na tade or share say yes a player why ready so person boy see Milan. Now the way na ade store no na ema mu say there be koso because mostly is a player to me to kwan ekodua. Meaning say bibia koyi the next thing I'll be when say the player no kuta shirt or announce it. But player na koyi medicals over 24 hours still information be am ba bontin from Bayern Leverkusen from AC Milan say player na timi ai den assign am na who ne cost na na ebe say okay Victor Boniface AC Milan say on returning back to Germany and to Bayern Leverkusen. Now omo person omo 1 or 2 discussions say on the medicals no later no man returning it back. And mostly sadie we koswa a chance club no empese or eden or foul ma be eden ebe bomano ye who players baby they've gone through this process. Now I think they made media kai amount for and yes be a make kai omo yaw we Rafael Jamna do baby I think last 4-5 seasons ago no signing my Brighton and omo be car say heart issues into omo ntimi signing and am so no iwe ye de hwe no na o share the comment about Leverkusen we almost see your bear HSA everything is over between Victor Boniface and AC Milan even though said there was a loan move and an obligation to buy na me pese virus at the Victor Boniface ni picture bitu so meba ne picture bitu so a unhu sa picture na utimu se there bi enyama bebre e koso
ni surgery no mark
ni surgery ni mark no
I mean almost a lot of the players on my year AC or surgery even the Ghanaian international Fatao Isahaku a bit than name also these players in there just that sometimes if you're not close to them or mona that scars name after surgery name na edited the mona hono
antivirus the picture but senia we ahwefo nso be hu senia asema ye kan senia tie into I think say with the surgery no ade ba kwa do say oye wie no he has been playing well for Bayern Leverkusen and that way ubetime bi eni kakra no metime hu bibia circle ne yellow na into the surgery need they fine but I don't think say it goes into the reason of affecting say AC Milan wouldn't want to sign a player like him because quality need their war but they are looking at in a long term but Adebakwa it brings a lot of question marks say this is a loan move nti adentina they are so fixed on say bia player no ye feel medicals no one pass because most of the loan moves medical conditions no yes terror and then go deeper into senior player and a full transfer move but after that no Boniface they comment beto abontin and I think with the comment or the beto abontin no and so make kind kakra so the comment in Boniface say about the social media we are he's very jovial any comment or be
active
yes into betro say the virus the beto so amaya betro say Boniface no serious he dey everywhere and then the first caption or the buy now o share the statement or person or chair say are they clubs like Leverkusen and clubs like Milan want me and I no be serious inti bibia no person or chair and say and you say maybe any pay.
Yes, I agree with this argument. I don't know, say, what reply.
Me remember Fabrizio post no.
So Boniface no serious. He did everyone to
the Nigerian media.
Yes, to the kind of comments.
Yes.
The Nigerian media and the Nigerian people for always omoka so. The into on Edonia separate from on no ways so the other top one mainly any they like near mama for Boniface don't serious about Nigeria
because
they be on the number
even in recent impono there was a video circulating on social media or joining will be TikTok live they were doing right there they were matching up
they trash I've seen that video
joining any omudi agro and I think say he's just trying to own the players one thing they do baby I say they go through a lot and yet you say 19 minutes about okofia some are lonely some don't even get a chance to even like have fun with their family in Yama Bibri so that is where he also likes to take maybe pressure off by coming to social media interacting with the fans. So
first one the any words some of the notable words are always
Nigeria for you towards him
so no the any words and then the reply and the white text in that black background.
Yes intino with no you say or break it down first one is not about maybe he's throwing punches towards AC Milan or Bayern Leverkusen and we o man say he's a player he's ready to play and you say maybe any person be or no no bono e be scanning here no and this is the second mover itima fall off. The first one was to move to Anasa intimi ankoyi and I remember about holidays cry he made statement or the nyama na chiche because no energy so movie to Saudi the nyama no would know the chiche and I think said the Nigerian media people who bash players like this needs to look at things at the Inter makers and they said these players go through a lot so oben players now be who say Charlie e do baby onya empo they can go into public spaces and enjoy themselves but because or that celebrity figure no baby wo ho a ontimi enko baby wo ho a ontimi enko nti na me no so no enyama ntimi nkoyi but you dey hwe ne commenter or the ma Fabrizio na because of Fabrizio also copy the post every post you know feel say Fabrizio remember say the community ne so and he may send a wrong comment out there. After a conversation with Fabrizio, no, or make sure so be posted here, and we no tagging as proof. Say and yes, maybe Adriana or can is to AC Milan or is to Bayern Leverkusen, which I think say it was a very good move from him, because you know the likes of Victor Osimhen suffering from, in quote, you see, or Giscardo, and there is no club going near the player, because I'd say player need discount agent in Komo. And also what happened between on Chelsea, there another Nigerian player also go through the same particular situation. Hey, look, man, on your verbal agreement with Atlanta, he has not been able to get a good club or move away from Atlanta. And it's a Boniface in Soba. Now there is something similar moving on, meaning say he needs to clear the air.
Okay, the first Yema pictures no name man enye clear.
Yes.
Danti Cavaris betim de Boniface
Comment
no on the IG no. Then ya can Fabrizio then to make it clear say yes, well do now go through. But in some na brand and be kind in some and of because as of now, so or say are they club like Leverkusen?
Yes.
And club like Milan
want me,
and I know serious. So if I serious na club for Jupiter I they go play. Clowns everywhere. And if I no serious and I did this level, make I remain like that. It means that people are saying so onye serious. Onye serious and Kobo club it is the Leverkusen, which is a big club in Germany, and a club like Milan, historical club like Milan, but even if onye serious and team non concobo, should it be outside this world? And also clowns everywhere. No, some okay then. Or see if I no serious and I did this level, make I remain like that. So no Boniface no. So when you serious, and I know or what this level or pedia and call penisa, senko only serious, then he will be a player that will be playing for a Leverkusen, and the clubs like Milan will be chasing him. Now, the comment to Fabrizio and a message to Fabrizio. And
I think that it was after Fabrizio picked that social media post. No, every post you on a Twitter account and in a social media platform, letting people understand. Say after we fall off, this was the comment by Victor. And Boniface. Fabrizio
wasn't. I say when Timan changed him because the post no wasn't. Clear say or the media for and I think they were deleting posts, but I don't know if you have it.
Boniface catcher and say on delete. Yes.
It wasn't clear. So Milan fans and Leverkusen fans or morning Shadanti Pigeon,
they took it wrong.
Yes, they took it wrong. So virus bit me the message to Fabrizio then so then now quickly share Newcastle game no.
Yes. Just say don't make this a big issue. This is about some Nigerian media. This has nothing to do with my transfer, okay? You have to delete that statement. This has nothing to do with Milan or Leverkusen. And Fabrizio replied in white, no. Nobody said, okay, bro. It was mentioning Milan and Leverkusen.
Yeah.
I think Fabrizio also
got the post wrong.
Yes. And I think say from this side, no, Fabrizio too was wrong.
Yeah.
Because the way Ubetimi, my man said Boniface betimi abetro. That's the same way after seeing the post, and then maybe engagement driven, and you can confirm from the players what is going on. And I think say Boniface would have been willing to explain things to Fabrizio so that the commenter now the post of Fabrizio Beno would come at a good level, a betimi and Tanishi player an image, or would put any of the clubs into issue. Obiano Sambeka said this has nothing to do with them, and now Fabrizio Beno says okay, that's why. And I think say Boniface posting this thing too was good, especially for the reputation. Going forward, Senor Chinabino, no club, baby move for his transfer wouldn't feel like okay, yeah, AC Milan we in the 4 lay and you came on Instagram to rant against AC Milan, to rant against Bayern Leverkusen, and we are not also coming in for that. And I think say the Nigeria media, the Nigeria people on social media needs to calm down, especially towards their players. Many enjoy the way the comments are going on around him because there are people going under Fabrizio posting and talk of Fabrizio comments nasia. The Nigerians posting say catch them mobile during the holidays na money na munkofo fie na mudidi mun na munkofo fie na mu yesi. These are the same players as so mobile down and they don't engage with the community, they don't engage with people you bet brandium saying omakobobo wa buche, so they don't think about the community, they don't think about the people. And I think say these clubs, these foreigners are looking at posts that you make about our players, especially comment passing about our players. It's sending support you the way we deal with them. And I think say the media spaces, the people on social media should have ranted against AC Milan. So we are just alone. So why don't you give the boy a chance for him to play? And now you are fighting say be on back. We've seen players time Bakayoko sign him at Chelsea. No injury. Or passing the medicals, a Chelsea player. Within some few weeks, getting to a month, no more game match Chelsea. But onuka no kuta injury, or passing the medicals, MYBET. So if now no say AC Milan say with the knee injury now was sustaining in previous months or previous years, no, it affects the player. This is when the Nigeria media, the Nigeria space needs to come in and fight for their guy. But then you say about Beka say on an amunkofufi or head your pay or sorry on an social media or yes because the Boniface and on bigger club it brings exposure to the Nigeria media, it brings exposure to the Nigerian national team, it brings exposure to the Nigerian country as a whole. In Boniface, but I think going forward we all need to rally behind our players unless maybe I didn't know why and I had the bonnet. So Osha Thomas Partey issue here, but I see the way the media, some of the media houses were behind him. Say I say Messi, no, they even here. Yeah, but tonight be doing come. That is what we need to do. And yes, say we should go against the player. And I think say Boniface also needs to prove a point. And they are returning back to Leverkusen under Eric Ten Hag and Yama and they lost their game. In the next game, when your chances so Timmy William, Timmy Boa, and they own Timmy Bon home or day, no Timmy added our goals and numbers. And I'm looking at going forward, there are bigger teams on Betty Abema and they on Betty Abefa Boniface Amon so Timmy because he's young, with 23. Yeah. And at the age of 23, he has the chance.
Victor Boniface.
Yes, 23.
Okay.
I don't know because a big.
Oh, sir, me, who can say be one of them? So Boniface for 23 years for Liverpool.
Me tonight say ubo player be dinam because player ni age ube complaining.
I was just asking a question because who can live maybe another striker. So I was asking for the sake of our listeners and viewers.
We did 23
yes,
years.
Victor Boniface for 23
years. Okay.
Yes.
Or a young boy. I feel no person born. Interne AC Milan I am doing so mu we sporting. Na minim the virus the player ni we player now to mu say omo the Victor Yokres humoja and a boss has sporting player friend harder because ne name the way and the body structure BBRT no. I had to say Yokres pepe ne untimi am born homodin because sporting for a new striker by a friend Suarez and Yobo goals into AC Milan say no person kofa harder no no so be name team be boss number 9 na nko mo say Victor Boniface enso ebetimi abo e wo ho nti ye hwe Messi side game no na afide yem ma hwe for out no
nyame adomene big game e ba be koso Newcastle and Liverpool St. James, and I mean this game is a game that yes. Newcastle fans will fool say Liverpool for and a share is a kutupa say a man and they are saying say when Jose Mourinho was at Chelsea and Nanka Chelsea kwakufa Steven Gerrard Nanka Gerrard are eager to join Chelsea. Mumma Gerrard threatening say or join Chelsea me ku na busuafo enu ti abrante na nko. So this game there's a lot of tension in the room. Eddie House no your coach Emma Liverpool no
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oni Newcastle Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes. They are good time friends. They played at Performance and almost Super Bowl. Bournemouth, and they have a very close relationship. And even Michael Edwards and so Eddie Hughes, relationship, Performance, and some of their technical teams are more the sporting direction in this scouting. The money coach in Ayajuma or Bournemouth. So they are very close. In fact, when Michael Edwards be a chief executive for Liverpool, coach I don't compare so be replace Georgia Club was Eddie Howe because of the relationship and working experience over the years. But then he was working for Newcastle and it was going to be very hard for them to get Eddie Howe to come to Liverpool. So Bimusu believe say ni now for no working against or no because Newcastle this season player do mu pe bia when they were going for Ekitike, Liverpool Kakofa. Now, our main target man, Musa so Babefano. In there will be a message from the Newcastle team, you know. And there's one thing about Newcastle team, money man. If they are playing without Alexander Isak, Niema Nkoye. In fact, almost last 6 games, Omabo without Isak, Ayana Omuntimi winning. They've lost 4 times. No, almost last 6 games against without Isak against any team in the Premier League. Omoni Bemo vote 2-2. Omobo home. Omoni Man City ball 1-1 home. They went to play a 0-0 draw against Everton. Omoni ko away Emma Liverpool Eshe the 2. That was against Isak. Omoko away ma Arsenal Eshe no. And then almost also echo away to Aston Villa. Echo kobo around. That is this year first match they won.
Yeah.
Now, watch against Isaka. They failed to score in 4 games. Against Aston Villa, against Arsenal, against Liverpool, and against Everton.
Yeah.
Into Isaka, they find it very difficult to score goals. But then again, for contest in 8 league games against Liverpool, Arsenal, another traditional big 6 clubs,
yeah.
Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, and Tottenham Hotspur last season, Newcastle winning 6, and a 2, a year draw, at home. So at St. James, a difficult venue to go.
Yes.
And in the game, no, and you didn't how many people get money, man. Until
yes,
5
into
minutes.
share game, and I think senior kind no. Alexander Isak has been player Newcastle for no any than pan. They were looking at so anytime you Liverpool be the player will make a difference in the game. Alexander Isak, and then this game is one game. On a normal day in Kenya, maybe a game will be attention because of that, but and then with the Isak conversation going on, I raise a lot of eyebrows on this game, and I think say Liverpool fans, no, and they omo kase Newcastle Kromunjama player in corner.
Yeah.
These were the same Liverpool fans our boss Steven Gerrard the year. Continue. They did something similar to
Arnold,
yes.
So
and they so be the year.
Yes.
Who do you be so announce why then what to and going into this game, say and then Newcastle ebo without no scoring. Meaning say they would match their last streak or 3 games without no scoring in February 2020. It meaning say they are missing that number 9 obetimi mom that goes up front. And Newcastle, one thing a boom say in their last 7 home records, no, and at their last 7 home games on my bono, emu 6 omudi kan go. And with Alexander Isak scoring part of those goals for them. Into any game need a very, very difficult, and I think the atmosphere wouldn't be good for Liverpool players. Any tackle be on mobile against a Newcastle player, and there will be shout, there will be a lot of where friends say noise around the stadium. It can affect the game, especially with cards a better game. Into so be caught this particular game. Cards are the
yes, it is because of the pressure and
the intensity of
bookings. I see both teams obeying more than 3 bookings.
Yes, and now Liverpool so in their last 7 games on my bono. Mostly both team to score a ball because now their defensive shape no solid testing and new from previous seasons. In more say we can see both teams scoring, but I think that the game in the first half bear so tense to the extent that in the first half we wouldn't see a lot of goals. Into so be per option obetimi akwa. I think second half high scoring half the back obetimi akwa because in the second half maybe the tension will drop and we'll see some nice football being played. But make sure game away from the aspect of not being a Liverpool fan or not being a Newcastle fan, it will be an exciting game to watch. Because looking at how both teams would take the situation into the game, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, your friend is saying Joe Linton, in the middle, they will try to box everything out there. In Florian Wirtz, your friend is saying Gravenberg, more and McAllister, more wouldn't get that freedom because there will be a lot of pressure. And the only thing about Eddie Howe side, they say they don't have that number 9 now. Obetimi convert a lot of chances. He say Antonio Gordon enough chance on the first day. And Alanga and so another player they'll be looking up to. But then I think Elanga would put up a good performance against Liverpool. Up a player Otimi against the big clubs. Otimi performing here is Elanga. And how Elanga can put up a good performance on the Liverpool side. No, they are missing the likes of Jeremy Frimpong and they own team. I think who were Kitiki also has a role to play in this
Or no
game.
say, and no Jibo be on the Bruno. Yes. Ekitike pressure.
He has a very big
Yeah.
role. And then you be who go Ekitike.
Or Sanso shall go the necessary as new already yes.
Then game there, can he adapt to the pressure? And then so to me share go and to me put up a good performance. Meaning say Kitiki a very tough skin, or he can be a key player for the Liverpool team. Inti yam share game no senior nyama be call Liverpool when Newcastle so be me say that's Willock. Onunzu into me. Apart from that, and I think squad no any Isaac Obia bet me a woman. It will be an exciting
before all the game in the Person Cavaros on far the probable lineup.
Yes,
and to Sumami.
Yeah,
And I have a huge interest in especially how these two coaches be lining up. You see, Florian Wirtz, to be very honest, if he becomes a mere passenger in this game and our first half, almost starting no more uniform, people shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because you know time and time again, Newcastle team, especially Omubohoma, they don't lose to the traditional big clubs.
Yeah.
Last season, they didn't lose to none of them. And the intensity of Omubohoma game, if we show no any players they can
box to box now.
kick out ball, no? Because they have Joe Linton. Joe Linton can bully all the Liverpool midfielders. The last time we Liverpool, especially in the Wembley, midfield, he bullied McAllister, Zoboslai, and all the other and Gravenberg. He was also Bruno Gomares, a South American midfielder, who an Italian midfielder in Abranta and Sandro Tonali.
Yeah.
So in midfield, the physicality, the duels, the battles, I know, say Newcastle will win it. But for Liverpool, Florian Wirtz, if almost starting a physicality in the piano, so won't be up there. But if Newcastle is in possession, now the little chances in the creativity level, if you can find Mohamed Salah, these are games always by Mohamed Salah about on top.
Yes.
The least chances on Nubenyan, he will take it. So it's up to Hugo Ekitike and Kwadi Gakpo for them to also live up to expectation, because against Newcastle, you won't have a lot of chances. I don't know if Eddie Howe will go in a 3-back system. Mostly last season, Osha big teams now.
No, call with a 3-back.
Or call with a 3-back system. Now, a lot of options because Botman Abba back, Fabian Shea Dan Ben and then there was also called Malik Tiao
Abba.
Eddie Naba. So Okasobeko in a 3-back system, he can go with a 3-back center backs and still have an additional center back on the bench.
Yeah.
Livramento, Creden Trippier, players are on Betimabo fullback, Abba Bonier. In midfield, Oni Ejumabia, and he can leave Gordon and Anthony Ilanga.
Up
And
front.
Oni say Liverpool goals are no more considered, especially last season now where as a result of counter attacks.
Even
Last season,
in their
only
recent
two
games,
Nottingham
Semenyo.
Forest. Last season, Baku hasn't not done a share. Then the first leg, Ilanga na share. And even in the last 2 games, our ball, especially this season, the Community Shield goals at Crystal Palace was at a result of counter attack against Bournemouth. Antoine Semenyo, counter attacking football,
yes.
purely, and I'm the Liverpool, and they come to play against Newcastle team, or also rely so much on counter attacking football. So game money man, it will be an interesting game. On Liverpool side, as the virus say, I think say Newcastle side.
On Liverpool side, I think the only player
Yes, this is the Newcastle probable lineup. Goalkeeper no be Nick Pope, Dan Ben, Fabian Schär, Creden Trippier, and Tino Livramento. That is if they are going for a 4-back system.
Yes.
In fact, even if they will go for a 3-back system, the only player I think say will be from lineup will be Harvey Barnes. That means another centre back will come. Then Livramento will hold that side, and even Joelinton, Bruno Gomares, and Sandro Tonali, and so then 2 up front with my Antonio Elanga. But if or decides to go with the 4-back system against Liverpool or Bohoma, this is probably the likely lineup.
Yes.
Now, what the Liverpool did better as well. Liverpool, Gravenberg is back after suspension and after sending a woman. Now he's back with the team. Liverpool team, Cody Bradley. I don't know if he will start because or no any a second right back. 2
I think on the only available right
back.
Yes.
If Bradley prior no hoton just 1 week you know join the team you know with training. So if they decide say they won't risk him, the only player bit either Curtis Jones, anyway,
Joe Gomez.
Yes. And I'm even hearing that Sequoia they can even play Soboslai at that side. Now in midfield, McAllister, I'm hearing say Nere also they've given him the opportunity to go. So the availability, he's not injured, but the availability of the player, if Obeba, Minyan ruling it out of the
but
game.
I think
but
this
report
game
and
say McAllister.
and I make I say they've given him the green light to go. But if the player will decide to play, the availability, no, about 50-50. I don't know as now.
Yeah.
But then Milos Kekers, Van Dijk, Ibrahim Akonate are likely to start.
Yeah.
Gravenberch Abba, so be more that defensive shield on. But I mean, with Gravenberch in, they scored them in Wembley with counter attack, and Liverpool, Cody Gakpo, Florian Wirtz, Mohamed Salah, and Hugo Ekitike. I'm somebody I think senka this game. Nkomoma Florian Wirtz and Tenanche.
No more
Soboslai. To give them that intensity, that energy. Up front. And I think say to me, Money Man, this game, I see it to be a goalless draw. I see this game to be a goalless draw. Sure. Newcastle playing at home, very tough. They will baby team. So I see this game to be a goalless draw. But there's one thing me who's ever happy in this game. Because of the counter-attacking football and end-to-end ball number one. Yeah. We are going to see a lot of corners in this game.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure. Any before I hear Newcastle for the ball, there'll be a lot of fouls. If this game you red card or game, I won't be surprised.
Yes, and you'll be
1 or 2 red card, me not surprised. Unless maybe 3 or 4 red card, but 1 or 2 red cards, I won't be surprised. And I don't see Newcastle losing this game. Liverpool, they are clear favorites, but I don't see them losing this game. And Iron Slot team last season, out of the 38 games I'm on boy, they moved 31. Almost share more than 2 goals.
2 goals, yeah.
So Liverpool can score 2 goals in this game.
Or more,
and if they are scoring 2 goals, and I believe that Newcastle is not going to draw this game, I see Newcastle also scoring 2 goals. It's us.
Yes, ne odds they ma ahwe for na. Me was 6 odds, my bet for bet builder option and I'm dey ma. Atletico Bilbao any Rayo game on Bilbao. Atletico Bilbao with any options no 5-6 odds and I'm dey ma ahwe for na. O share bet builder option and until next time be actual bet MYBET.AFRICA. Atletico Bilbao any Rayo game na. Atletico Bilbao win or draw and a 1.5. Newcastle Liverpool. Liverpool win or draw over 2.5 and a corners of over 8.5. Inter Milan any Torino FC game no over 1.5. Intim code no VJLY MYBET.AFRICA.
Yes. Me dear no. Some few selections. Me say nkebe but him say me delay me kakra. But then builder for Liverpool game no. Yeah. Liverpool Newcastle game. Newcastle double chance. Over 4.5 bookings. Over 4.5 bookings, and I think I can on that option. Then now Norgerland and so Ebebo. But then me code no 1JLY. 1JLY. And say they over Telegram, you will see the link. Your group in Sports Arena on Telegram. And then they link in them. No answer about link. Then bet in the whole 20, 100, 50, 200. Now they go so now they try. And what name by our say you show you so anytime biano. Your us heading bakubo. Nte no twa tu ni na yen sorry and I am branya me much na no na ene ye na ye wo green side me dey the Vincent oti money man kan virus 36 ni osomo ejina mu e produce show no e ma bibia enso ekonya me much na same time 1 p.m. to 2:30 ene ye hia na yen fa sports arena no ensan so mbre won feed no so bie.